In this video, I wanted to talk about Donald Trump's chart, Vedic birth chart, and what his chances are of becoming president again. And again, I'm just going to go over his chart in general right now. So I wanted to point out that in his chart, he has a very powerful chart because we see that he has a Kalasarpa yoga, and this is when all the planets are on one side of the chart. And so this usually makes all the other yogas in your chart that much stronger. And it is said to give extreme highs and extreme lows in life. And his Rahu is exalted and along with his Ketu. And that is, it gains strength in the 10th house there. Some astrologers say it gains Digbala strength as well. But this is one of the reasons why, he is prominent in terms of career and status is because Rahu's in the 10th. And Sun being in the 10th also gains directional strength. And it's his first lord. So for him, because he's a Leo rising, his chart ruler is the Sun, and Sun goes to the 10th house, which again, there would be a lot of emphasis on career and status and public image, reputation, and purpose in his life. And, just simply having Rahu and Sun there in the 10th house, you can tell, this person would be career oriented or have high status in life. Now, his moon is debilitated. However, because Mars is aspecting it, the debilitation gets effectively canceled. So that's something worth noting because usually when a planet is debilitated but then it gets canceled, it also kind of picks up strength. The other thing I wanted to mention that is noteworthy is that in regards to his finances and wealth, he has Mercury, the second lord, in the 11th house, which is one of the best wealth-giving Dana yogas you can have. And Mercury is in its own sign as the 11th lord in the 11th house. So this can definitely show him having good wealth. And the fact that he has Jupiter in the second house, the natural benefic in the second house can show somebody with great wealth as well. Now, he has Mars in the first house. This gives him lots of energy and that fiery personality. I mean, being a Leo rising in the nakshatra Maga is also giving him that, but having Mars in the first house can also add to, his fiery personality and the aggression and just the energy. And Mars here is the fourth lord, which is indicative of real estate, and so is Mars. So this is like a double, way that we can see that he works in real estate, that real estate is prominent in his life. Now kind of moving on to what's going to be happening this year for him and what kind of dashas he's running and where the transits are going to be for when he is potentially announced president. So, he's coming up on a positive time because Jupiter just moved into Taurus, and so Jupiter will be there until next May for him. And Jupiter is transiting his 10th house of career, public image, reputation. So anytime this transit happens for anyone, it is usually indicative of opportunities, advancement in career status. So based off of that, he has a really big leg up with that. Now, transiting Jupiter will be going over his already powerful 10th house and his natal Rahu. And so when natal Rahu and transiting Jupiter meet, it is very much that house is emphasized because Rahu and Jupiter are both magnifiers. And so again, this is happening in his 10th house. So I feel like something big either way is going to happen in terms of his, again, career status, reputation. And the reason why he's been having, all these issues with legal is because the nodes have been in his 8-2 axis, and Rahu's in his 8th house, which is all about scandals, disgrace. It's a difficult dhisthana house. And so it actually has a lot to do, the 8-2 axis has to do with money. And for him, obviously, there's been a lot of financial issues going on because the nodes are there. And we can see how one minute he's making a lot of money and the next he's losing it. And so there's definitely ups and downs with Ketu and Rahu on this axis for him, the money houses. So, but primarily with Rahu transiting that 8th house, this is why scandals and, again, the disgrace, the humiliation, all the darker, heavier stuff is happening for him due to this transit. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is when he moves into fall, he will be in the dasha period of Jupiter. He's been in Jupiter. That's a long period, but he's going to be the sub period of Venus. And so Venus for him happens to be the 10th lord of career, reputation. So I think that's also another indicator as to why I think he might definitely win the presidency, because Venus is his 10th lord. The only, drawback, I guess, would be that it's in the 12th house, which can sometimes, have to do with endings, imprisonment. But again, there's so much to consider. Now, his Venus is actually exalted in the D10 chart. Now, D10 has to do with, again, career status, reputation, and so it's a divisional chart, and we like to look at the divisional charts to see if the planets gain or lose strength. And so again, for him, Venus happens to be exalted in the D10. So this is also, I think, indicative of it's supporting, I think, this win for him. And Venus happens to be in the nakshatra called Punavarsu. And Punavarsu has to do with a return of the light. It has to do with a comeback, doing something again, repeating something, having a second chance, basically. And so this is also, I think, another indicator that he would return as president. Now, around November 5th, Jupiter will be literally, transiting 25 degrees of Taurus, and that is going to be really close within his 27-degree natal Rahu, and 29-degree natal Sun. So again, it's the transiting Jupiter is hitting his personal planets within a really tight degree, and I feel like that is usually indicative of something to come, like an event manifesting. And then during that day, Mercury and Venus will also be aspecting from the 4th house onto that 10th house. And Venus will be around 28 degrees of Scorpio, which is right over his natal moon at 28 degrees and natal Ketu at 27 degrees. So again, these transiting planets are within a very close degree of his natal planets. So I think that, again, is just really indicative of something manifesting around that time for him. And the only also drawback is that, Mars will be debilitated for everyone during this time. It'll be in Cancer, and it'll be transiting closely again to his natal Saturn and Venus. So that's just kind of adding more, again, for something that could be, an event can be triggered with having Mars so close to his natal planets there. So overall, like I said, I think he's going to win. I'd be surprised if he didn't win. And again, I know some of you are going to be very triggered by this video, but I'm looking at it from an astrological perspective, and hopefully you learned something and appreciate the analysis. And if you are interested in having your own natal chart reading, I do those on my website. You can book, and you can also order a yearly email reading the transits go until next spring 2025. So just because we're already halfway through the year doesn't mean it's not going to be valid only 6 months. It'll be valid, the transits will be valid until next year. So let me know what other videos you'd like to see. I plan on being here a little bit more active and hopefully doing some more videos and more birth chart analysis. But let me know your thoughts in the comments on what you thought of this video.